Hi there, my name is Alan Lamont. This video is about bringing the knowledge of the truth to Masons, really, that they are in spiritual darkness. What I'm bringing out in this video is that Freemasonry is the worship of Lucifer himself, and the vast majority of Masons are members out of ignorance. They are ignorant of this revelation. They are within an organization that has denied them this information. They swear obedience and the blood oaths of secrecy and are blindly loyal to their high master masons and grand masters, but at the lower levels of masonry they don't understand that they're really worshipping Lucifer, Satan. No revelation of that. Now I will reveal that Masonry itself at the top is governed by the Jesuits of Rome. They wrote the high degrees of Masonry, and it's the greatest Trojan horse of the Vatican to infiltrate all governments. And there is a structure within Masonry. You have the lower degrees, of course, and then you have the high degrees. Those in the high degrees are Knights of Malta, the Vatican Knights of St. John of Jerusalem, and Knights Templar. They're brought into those Vatican knighthoods. And what you have within Masonry, the very heart of Masonry, is the energies of Lucifer. And you can read this in The Lost Keys of Masonry by Manly P. Hall, page 48, quote: "When the Mason learns that the key to the warrior on the block is the proper application of the dynamo of living power, he has learned the mystery of his craft. The seething energies of Lucifer are in his hands, and before he may step onward and upward, he must prove his ability to properly apply this energy." So they are in direct contact with Lucifer. That's the truth. Also, that which we say to the crowds is, we worship God. But it is the God that one adores without superstition. To you, Sovereign Grand Inspector General, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degrees. The Masonic religion should be, by all us initiates of the high degrees, maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. This is written by Albert Pike, of course. So we see at the top of Masonry is the Luciferian doctrine. Of course, the Jesuits of Rome, they brought the Luciferian doctrine into Masonry, but of course they cover it with Egyptian and Babylonian symbols to deceive the uninitiated. Let me continue this quotation from Albert Pike, quote: "If Lucifer were not God, would Adonai, the God of the Christians, whose deeds prove his cruelty and hatred of man, barbarism and repulsion for science, would Adonai and his priests calumniate him? Yes, Lucifer is God, and unfortunately Adonai is also God. For the eternal law is that there is no light without shade, there is no beauty without ugliness, no white without black. For the Absolute can only exist as two gods, darkness being necessary for light to serve as its foil, as the pedestal is necessary to the statue, and the brake to the locomotive. Thus the doctrine of Satanism is heresy, and the true and pure philosophical religion is the belief in Lucifer, the equal of Adonai, God. But Lucifer, God of light and God of good, is struggling for humanity against Adonai, the God of darkness and evil." You can read this in the Instructions to the 23rd Supreme Councils of the World by Albert Pike, Grand Commander, Sovereign Pontiff of Universal Freemasonry. Sovereign Pontiff of Universal Freemasonry really means that he is an agent of the Pope. July the 1st, 1889, and you can read that on page 588. What Masons are revealing here at the high levels is that they are worshipping Lucifer, who they don't believe is Satan. They don't believe he's evil. They believe that he is good, in that he is God himself. He's the God of light, God of illumination. And that God, or Jehovah, the true God of the Bible, is a God of darkness and destruction and suffering and so on. Also, within the ceremonies of the ritual of the Royal Arch degree, the candidate is asked, "Brother, Inspector, what are you?" And he replies, quote, "I am that I am." That's complete blasphemy, you know. They're proclaiming that they are God. They're all gods. They attain to the level of godhood. Now, when Moses was asked to name himself, God said to him, "I am that I am." Moses asked God to name himself, and God said, "I am that I am." And he said, "Thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you." So they really deify man in the place of God. Also, I want to talk about blood oaths, which are obviously not of God, not of Christ, but through the initiation rituals of the Blue Lodges, and through all the 33rd degrees of Freemasonry, the candidates are sworn to secrecy by blood oaths. These oaths are identical to the Jesuit oath, the oath of the Knights of Columbus, the Vatican Knights of St. John, the Knights of Malta. You find that all of these groups, these societies that are interlocking groups, they all swear an oath to not the Grand Master of Masonry, but whether knowingly or unknowingly, they're making it to the Black Pope, the Jesuit General. And this oath of the Blue Lodges of the 33rd degree is sworn by the entered apprentice also of the 1st degree, who, as he enters Masonry, he binds himself under no less penalty than that of having his throat cut across and his tongue torn out by its roots and his body buried in the rough sands of the sea at low water mark. And the Master Mason also swears under no less penalty than that of having my body severed, and 2, my bowels taken from there, and burnt to ashes, and ashes scattered before the 4 winds of heaven. You can read that oath in Duncan's Ritual of Freemasonry by Malcolm Duncan. That's the 3rd edition, page 36 and page 39. Freemasonry, really, it doesn't matter if you're a low-level Mason, a worshipful Master, or a Master Mason. The fact is that the vast majority of Masons don't understand when they give their knuckle grips to each other that they're actually in worship to Satan. It's only those at the very top. You have the structure of Masonry itself, and you have those of the lower degrees there. That's the 1st degree, what's called the entered apprentice degree. You have the 2nd degree, which is the fellow craft degree, 3rd degree, Master Mason degree. Of all of these various degrees, but there's double meanings to everything. Every symbol, every sign that you see within Masonry, there's always a double meaning to it. The true revelation, the true interpretation is always hidden to all the Masons except those at the top. And those at the top are the Knights of Malta and the Knights Templar. But we see also Islam, interwoven into Masonry, and also we see buried into Masonry Catholicism as well through all of the knighthood orders, because there's many knighthood orders within Masonry, and it's a facade, really. And we also see the history of Masonry. We see them wear the fez, which is the barbaric, anti-Christian, hat that they wear from the 8th century, when the Muslim hordes overran the Moroccan city of Fez, shouting there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet. So Masonry will exalt every religion. It will exalt Islam, it will exalt every religion. And just to clarify, that Fez hat, it symbolises the butchering of almost 500,000 Protestant Christians. And these men were put to death for the faith in Christ, all in the name of Allah. And we see that high, Masons, Shriner Masons also wear this, symbol of Allah in their shrine initiation ceremony. They're initiated into that, part of Masonry, which is that there is no God but Allah. Now this Masonic structure, understand that it is governed at the top by the Vatican. That's the truth. You can clearly prove that when you look at the structure of Freemasonry. But Freemasonry is You know, people talk about Jobolion being the secret name, or the Masonic god, or the lost word in the right of the Royal Arch degree, J-A-O, as in Jabullion. That's absolute nonsense. It stands for Baal, but really behind Baal you have Nimrod. And behind that you have Horus, and obviously Lucifer himself as the all-seeing eye. You know? So there's multi-levels of deception when you try and dig into Masonry and understand what it's about. People say, well, it's the worship of Nimrod. It is. Who's obviously, you know, another name for him is Osiris within Masonry, or Baal. But understand that it's satanic. It's the worship of Lucifer. That's what high Masonry is. The worship of the devil. I'm just telling you the truth, guys. You know, if you're a Freemason, you need to come out of this, because, you know, to be a Mason, you must first take an oath that is in reality a denial of Jesus Christ. Albert Pike clearly said that Lucifer is God. So that's what you've entered into. You've probably done it out of ignorance. You might think that you're a Christian and you can still be a Mason. Well, you can't. You can't. Masonry does not preach against sin. Doesn't preach against any sin whatsoever. It's a doorway to the devil. That's what it is. It's an open door to Satan. And you'll bring your family under a curse. That's right. You'll bring your family under the curse of God and demon power. And Masons need to repent. But there's also another dimension to this message, and I'm going to close with this, which is that the Jesuits, the Vatican, use Templar high Masonry to infiltrate all governments and organizations, corporations. And Masons are instructed to rise to the highest levels and positions of those companies and those corporations, and then to rule at the top. So Masons really are created as an organization primarily of infiltration. As I've said, they're the greatest Trojan horse organization in the world. You know, they are under the power of the Jesuits, they're under the power of the Vatican Knighthoods, the Templars, the Knights of St. John, or otherwise known as the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, or Knights of Malta. Of course, they're at the top of Masonry. But you'll find within every intelligence organization, and I'm not going to name them all, but all of them, CIA, FBI, NSA, British SIS, MI6, you know, all of them, Russia, Israel, all Masons. They're all high Masons. They're all connected at the top. They're all in the Brotherhood. So that's why the Vatican uses Freemasonry. It uses, Freemasonry was called Illuminatus or Illuminati, the Jacobins, the many names for Masonry throughout history. But it's a front organization for the Jesuits. They infiltrated Masonry. And they're the Templars. That's why if you look at the very top of the power structure of Masonry, you see the Templars are there. And come out of Freemasonry. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot be a Christian and serve Jesus Christ and serve the worshipful master of your lodge. You're deceived. Understand that a master Mason makes a solemn oath on the Bible. Literally, he will make an oath on the Bible itself. And he will acknowledge and obey all the due signs and summons sent to him from a master Mason lodge or given by a brother of that degree. But they deny Jesus Christ. They don't take the oath seriously. When they swear an oath on the Bible, they hate the Word of God. The Word of God condemns sin, it condemns people, and it condemns them that they are under the wrath of God. They're on the way to judgment. You don't hear that gospel preached in Masonry. You don't hear that. Really. And also, it will be a real sinister operation of Masonry to govern the third rebuilt Hebrew temple. It will be a Masonic temple. Also understand that all the politicians at the top, they're high Masons. Even the popes are. They all give knuckle grips to each other. They're all in the Brotherhood. They're all on the square. All of them. It's a worldwide structure. I'm going to bring a lot more videos to go deeper into the New World Order conspiracy, but this video has been covering Masonry. And final conclusion, if you're a Freemason, you can't be a Christian. You can't be. You can't. because Freemasonry at the top is the worship of Lucifer. You make your choice. You're going to serve the devil, or you're going to serve Jesus Christ and come out of Masonry.